ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। Om. Today we will try to cover all the Agni Suktas of Mandalam 5, starting with 23. Suktam 23. Rishi Dyumna Vishwajarshani Atreya Devata Agni Chandas Anushtup Pankti. (23.1) Agni Sahantamamhara. O Agni, please give us wealth of good reputation which overcomes all enemies. Dwelling among men, he by his mouth like flames overcomes in battles all his enemies. Here Agni could be the soul of energy. Agni as forest fire is the destroyer of all opposing forces. Agni, the representative of the self, destroys evil thoughts from the minds of intelligent men by preaching self-knowledge. 23.2 Tamagne Prudanasaham Rayim. O mighty Agni, please give us that wealth, say heroic son, or knowledge, who can overcome all enemies in battles. You are embodiment of truth only, are wonderful. You are giver of wealth of speech and knowledge. Agni symbolizes the self. Truth, Pratyaksham Brahma. Rest of the rest needs no further elaboration. Vishwehitva Sajoshaso. 23.3 O Atmiya Agni, all highly learned men, sharing happiness equally and loving to perform sacrifice, pray only to you to give many admirable gifts. You are the acceptor of sacrificial oblations in human homes and is dear to all. Overall meaning of the Rig should be easily understandable in whatever sense the word Agni is interpreted. 23.4 Sahishma Vishwajarshani. He, dwelling among all men, holds the power for overcoming all enemies. O bright Agni, please bestow wealth in our dwellings. O purifier, may you shine brightly. This is just a simple prayer which everyone should be able to understand easily. Dwellings may mean living bodies also. Now we go to next sukta, Suktam 24. Rishis are Bandhu, Subandhu, Shrutabandhu, Viprabandhu. They are all Gaupayana, Laupayana Va. Chandas Dvipada Virat. 5.24.1 Agni Tvam no Antama. 5.24.2 Vasudagni. O Agni, you are our shelter. Please be close to us. You are our protector and auspicious. Agni is the provider of dwellings and is endowed with wealth and food. May he provide us and grant us the most glorious wealth. The rigs contain simple prayers addressed to Agni and some virtues attributed to him which have been dealt with earlier. So, no further elaboration is given here. Sano Bodhi Shruti Havam 5.24.3 Tam Tva Shojishtha Didiva 5.24.4 Together meaning is, O Agni, please enlighten us. Listen to our invocation. Please keep us away from all sinners or desirers of committing sins. O Purifier, please illuminate truth. We pray to you for our happiness and for the happiness of our friends. These are all similar type of rugs and are not explained here. We go to next Sukta, Suktam 25. Agni is the Devata, Rishi is Vasuveva Atreya, Chandas Anushtup. Achavo Agnim Avase Devam. O invokers, you admire that resplendent Agni for our protection. He is a giver of various gifts, like the son of knowers of meanings of Vedic mantras, who is a knower of Ruta and who overcomes the foes. Agni gives all kinds of gifts to his invokers, including an enlightened sun. No further explanation may be necessary on this book. 25.2 Sahis Satyam Purve. Indeed, he alone is true, whom ancient sages enkindle and whom enlightened souls enlighten, because he is a liberal donor, is sweet-tongued, endowed with glorious wealth and splendor. Obviously, here Agni represents personified energy who is kindled within the minds of ancient sages and who manifests as symbol of truth for enlightened men. 25.3 Sanodhiti Varishtaya. O most acceptable spiritual Agni, through activities free from sins, please give us riches free from all evils, which are the choicest and most excellent, along with good intellect and mind. Here again, riches implies spiritual riches and not gross or physical wealth. (25.4) Agni Deveshu Rajati. O sacrificers, soul of Agni shines within enlightened souls. Agni is present among human mortals. Agni is the bearer of oblation. That Agni you serve with your intellect. To an enlightened man, Agni represents truth, the self. Among mortals, Agni is considered as gross energy of different forms. To a sacrificer, Agni appears as a bearer of sacrificial oblations. Know that same Agni is appearing in different forms to different people. Agnis to Vishravastamam 25.5. That Agni gives to an invoker a son who is highly honored, is very devoted, is excellent, is unharmed, and he makes Agni famous. The son could as well be Manasaputra, who supports and gives strength to the invoker whenever his mental strength decreases. 25.6. Agnir dadadi satpadim. Agni gives a good protector of born things, who with the help of an army of men overcomes his foes. May Agni give a swift moving horse, which is conqueror of all and undefeated. This swift horse, protector of born beings, etc., may mean Vaishwanara Agni or Jఠara Agni. This is the Agni that is behind all activities of a human being. 25.7. Yet Vahishtham Tadagnaye. O splendorful Agni, whatever is the conveyor of happiness to you, Agni, that shines excellently. Your wealth, which is like a venerable queen, and your food and knowledge are coming forth from you. Happiness could be physical or spiritual, and so also Agni. Agni's wealth is worthy of being loved and honored like a queen. It issues out from him for the benefit of all. 25.8. Tava Dyumanto Archayo. O Atmiya Agni, your brilliant spiritual rays are said to be like the great rain-bearing cloud. Moreover, illuminating the sky yourself, your sound comes out like that of a cloud. This refers to energy in lightning and thunder. 25.9. Eva, last Rakunda Sukta. Eva Agnim Vasuyava. Desiring only wealth and knowledge, we praise Agni, who is full of splendor, having wonderful power of endurance. This wise performer of good deeds may take us across all acts of malice, as though crossing a river by means of a boat. This rig is self-explanatory. We go to the next Suktam 26. Vasuyava Atreya Rishi Agni Devata Chandas Gayatri. All the rigs in this Sukta are fairly straightforward and easily understandable, needing not much elaboration. Agni can be considered as the soul of energy in the Sukta. Agni Pavaka Rojisha. O resplendent purifier Agni, with your brilliance and sweet speech, please approach that honor enlightened souls. Agni is being requested to invite enlightened souls to this knowledge sacrifice for accomplishing this process. Tamtva Ghridas Navimahe. Ghritasnavimahe. 26.2. O Agni, you are being smeared with ghee and endowed with wonderful splendor. We pray to you who looks like the sun. Please invoke enlightened beings for achievement. 5.26.3. Vidihotram Tvakave. O wise Agni, in this knowledge sacrifice we praise you, who is vast, is resplendent, and is great. That fact, the fact that Agni is the subject of this sutta is indicated by this rig. 26.4. Agni Vishwebhiragahi. O Agni, please come here along with all enlightened souls for giving them worthwhile oblations. We choose you as the performer of sacrifice. Agni is being thought of as the distributor of oblations to enlightened souls assembled in the sacrificial place. Conceptually, this may be taken to mean that Agni supplies energy to all of them who are all otherwise inert. 26.5. Yajamanaya Sunvata Agni. O Agni, please give good vigor to a liberal preparer of oblations who is sitting along with enlightened souls in the place of sacrifice. Agni is being requested to give sufficient energy to the performer of sacrifice. 2.26.6. 5.26.6. Samidhana Sahasrajit. O conqueror of thousands, Agni, you are burning brightly and are praiseworthy. Being the messenger of enlightened souls, you nourish shining virtues in all. A well-shining Agni is a symbol of the self or its manifestation. Agni nourishes good virtues in the minds of learned men. 5.26.7. Nyagnim Jatavedasam. O invokers, uphold that Agni who is knower of all born beings, is conveyor of oblations, is ever young, is resplendent, and is performer of sacrifice. Sirada Sukta is exhorting his listeners to approach Agni for all kinds of knowledge, gross, mental and spiritual. 5.26.8. Prayajna Edavan, pervading in all shining objects. May this sacrifice reach Agni today uninterruptedly. O invokers, spread the seed for Agni in this place of sacrifice. Last verse in this sukta. Edam Maruto Ashwina Mitra. May Marut, Ashwin, Mitra, Varuna and other enlightened souls, along with all their attendants, be seated here in this place of sacrifice. Shining beings other than Agni are also being requested to be present in this knowledge sacrifice. We go to next sukta, Suktam 27. Rishi, Triaruna, Traivushna, Trasalasyu, Pavirukutsya, Bharat Ashwamedha, Rajana. Anaswanta Satpadir Mamaheme. 27.1. O Atmiya of Agni, I honor you who is shining in all. You are known to me as honor of a dependable and good transport. He is a good protector of one's beings. He is enlightener of all with noble speech. He is shining. He is very rich. He is showerer of threefold happiness. He is possessor of threefold light and is accompanied by tens of thousands of men. Many of the attributes given here have been discussed before. Threefold happiness means physical, mental and spiritual. Threefold light should be those in the space, namely the sun, in the atmosphere lightning, and on the earth is fire. 27.2. Yome Shata Chavim Shatim, O Vaishwanaragni, shining in all, when well praised, growing on all sides, you give home and happiness to the possessor of threefold virtues, who gives me 120 cows or speeches, together with a pair of load-carrying horses or rays of spiritual light. Threefold virtues could be truthfulness, kindness and justice. More clarification on this rig may not be necessary. The two ways could be spiritual of the self. These spiritual rays bestows existence and consciousness or truth seekers. 5.27.3. Eva te Agni Sumatim Chagano. O soul of Agni, in this way, desirous of good and new intellect, a trembler of robbers and thieves, who is a possessor of threefold virtues, who is of powerful nature or by birth, accepts propitiously with my mind concentrated on you my newest and earlier auspicious words. A learned man possessing the virtues mentioned in the earlier work meditates on the meanings of the suktas of the seer to know more about Agni. This is a more simplified meaning of the rig. Auspicious words may correspond to 120 cows mentioned in the previous rig. 5.27.4. Yoma iti pravochat. He, soul of Agni, explains to me who has power of intelligence and is wise, this one. Who desires Vedic mantras, to him he gives speech. Who wants to know Ruta, to him he gives good intellect. Meaning of the rig is understandable without any clarification. 27.5. Yasyama Parusha, gifts of a person who has power of intelligence, which though harsh are sprinkled with 100 sweet sermons. They give me delight like the essence of extracted soma. Truthful sermons may sound harsh, but they only give everlasting happiness. This is the message contained in the book. Sweet sermons may imply auspicious words of mentioned in the previous rig. Indragni Shatadavan, yes, yeah. 27.6, last rig in the Sukta. Indragni Shatadavan Ashwamedhe Vishwa, O Indra, Agni, may you uphold great, valorous and undecaying strength, which is shining like the sun in the space, for a man who has power of intelligence and who is a giver of hundreds of gifts. This is a simple prayer to Indra, Agni, and requires no elaboration. Suktam 28. This is the last Agni Suktam in this mandala. Vishwavararshi Atreyi, Devata Agni, Chandas, Trushtu, Jagati, Anushtu, and Gayatri. Samitho Agnir Divi 5.28.1. Well kindled Agni fire, who depends on the luster of the sky to some extent, illuminates several places on the earth at dawn, invoking resplendent beings with salutations, by oblations, and with ladles full of ghee. Like a noble woman, respected by all, Usha appears on the east. This must be a description of a scene at dawn in ancient times. As dawn appears in the east, sacrificial fires are kindled in many homes. Light from the fire mingles with the light of the sun and removes darkness of the night. Agni carries oblations to other shining beings. 5.28.2. Samithamano Amrutasya Rajasi. O spiritual Agni, being enkindled with knowledge, you are shriner of immortal truth. You are attached to the preparer of sacrifice for his prosperity. Whomsoever you pervade, he upholds all kinds of wealth and happiness. You also accept hospitality and all goods put before you. Agni, the soul of energy, manifests from ignorance of the unborn self. Agni is also attached to the self inside the body of the sacrificer. That Agni activates him, or he is the cause of all his prosperity. This is true also of all living creatures. Agni in the fire burns up everything given to him. Agne Shraddha Mahate Saubhagaya 28.3. O Agni, may your strength and admirable glories be for our great prosperity. Please make our husband-wife relationship well controlled through observances of truthful conduct. May you withstand the onslaught of enemy armies. This is just a prayer which everyone should be able to understand. 5.28.4. Samidhasya Pramamhasokne. O Agni, I honor your wealth. You are shining well and are endowed with admirable luster. You are mighty and very glorious. You are shining well in knowledge sacrifices. The book contains a statement of fact recalling a few attributes of Agni which should be familiar to all by now. Samidho Atma Ahuta 28.5. O good performer of sacrifice, Agni, being honored by us, you are indeed the conveyor of our oblations. Shining well, please honor enlightened souls. The comment made on the previous slok is applicable to this one also. Last slok in the Sukta 5.28.6. Juhota Bhuvasyata Agnim. O sacrificers, in the course of the sacrifice you offer oblations to Agni, the bearer of oblations. Serve him and gratify him. O men, honor Agni in knowledge sacrifices is the message of the slok. This is the end of the Agni series of Agni Suktas from in Mandalam 5. We stop our discussion today here. Viramastavat.